Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Hope you're having a great whatever day it is when you happen to be listening to this episode. I'm your host, Amar, the host of Surround Sound SaaS Marketing, The American Dream, whatever the name of this little show is. Coming at you today quick with a recording I'm about to do for essentially what I'm doing is I'm hiring a new executive assistant for myself at ZenMaid. This is something that if you guys have followed me for some time, you may have seen the presentation that I did a couple of years ago for the Dynamite Circle about working with an executive assistant. This is something that I have been a big proponent of for all of my friends for quite some time because I think that it is a massive quality of life increase for the vast majority of entrepreneurs, assuming that the timing is right. But the timing, in my opinion, is right much earlier than most people seem to really consider it and everything. So anyways, I am essentially changing sort of my requirements. Those of you that are familiar with Frane from my team who have heard those previous conversations, he's remaining with ZenMaid and is going to be an executive assistant under another team member who's more where I was at a couple of years ago. And yes, I'm essentially about to make a shift and to start looking for someone new. So what I am recording for you guys on today's podcast is I'm about to essentially just jump into it as if I am recording something. Literally, I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut out after this introduction, and I'm going to show you guys what I am sending over to candidates or what I am sharing in a video with candidates. I'm literally just going to be reading through the job description that my team has helped me to put together for this new role at ZenMaid, and I'll be providing a tiny bit more context on each part. So this is something that I thought that might be helpful for some of you guys that want to just get a glimpse into how I'm thinking, into what I think is going to be the most important things for me moving forward. And yeah, I don't know, this is just something that I thought it would be cool if, some of the people that I followed back in the day, if some of them had recorded something along these lines, I think it would have been very helpful for me. And so I'm hoping that it has a similar impact that I'm hoping on some of you guys. So if it does, drop me a message on WhatsApp, Twitter, YouTube comments, wherever you happen to be watching this. By the way, if you are listening to this on a podcast player, if you do head over to my YouTube channel, I believe it's just Amar, but just search Amar Ghose on YouTube. I will be screen sharing the job description, which may add to the quality or the takeaways. If you do want to check that out, I will do my best to verbalize line by line so that even if you are not looking at that video, that you're still able to follow along with what I'm saying. Without further ado, let's jump into it. All right, cool. So I now have the notes on screen for anyone that is listening. Okay, perfect. All right. All right. Hey, if you are watching this, my name is Amar Ghose. I am the CEO and co-founder here at ZenMaid. So if you are watching this video, that means that you're likely considering applying for our executive assistant position that would report to and work for me directly here at ZenMaid. So as you can see on screen here, I'm sharing the job listing that the team has helped me to put together. And what I'd wanted to do is I'd wanted to record a quick video where I talk through the different things that we have listed here. I'll go into a little bit more depth for each of these, but I thought that this would be a nice way for you as an applicant to get to know me a little bit better. If, for example, my accent triggers you in any way or the sound of my voice is just not pleasant to you, that might be a good sign for you to move on and to not apply for this job, because you will be hearing a lot from me and be watching a lot of videos of me talking. So yeah, that's perfectly fine. That's part of the reason that I'm recording this video, is so that I find a great fit, the perfect fit for this role, because I'm very particular and very unique, as are we all, and that can make me difficult to work with in some ways. So we'll touch on some of those things. And yeah, the goal of this video is to just give you guys a little bit more clarity. And if you watch this till the end and you think, you know what, I can make Amar superhuman, then I hope that you apply and that we get the chance to have a conversation. All right, job title: AI-powered executive assistant to ADHD CEO. That's me. London-based, remote-friendly. I'll talk about that a little bit more. Essentially, we're looking for someone that can be in London on a regular basis, maybe as much as like once a week, more than likely once a month, but essentially based around London, as that is where I live. But 95% of the work, I would say, is going to be done remotely. So a little bit more about ZenMaid. ZenMaid is a simple scheduling software. We are what's known as a SaaS. We've been in business for 12 and a half years, and we serve maid services specifically. So that would be residential home cleaners in the United States primarily, and then we do have a sizable market in the UK and Australia. So that would be domestic cleaners is generally the term there. So we're looking for a perfect executive assistant to support me. That's Amar Ghose. Yes, and as my team is listed here, I am a character and I need handling as such. So as I mentioned, I have ADHD. I definitely have thoughts that are all over the place. I get distracted more than a squirrel around peanut butter. Yeah, this is not a task taking or a junior admin type role. That we have a very well machine here at ZenMaid already, and if I just needed help with essentially like taking down tasks and those basics, we'd have that pretty well covered already. What I'm really looking for is I'm looking for someone to be proactive in my life, to help be ahead of me on multiple things in my personal and in my professional life, so that I can focus on the things that are most important. As noted, it's a strategic partnership, and says at the heart of the company, the team is endearingly referring to me, which is nice. But yeah, essentially it will be somewhat strategic, and you will be expected to be thinking about the business holistically. This is a perfect position for someone that really wants to feel involved in the business and wants to, I think, have an impact is probably like the best way, but will really be helping me to make decisions and to be looking ahead and to be lining up so that as a team, you and me can have the biggest possible impact in the company. And with my position and where I sit, that's literally how we can move the needle the most. So we're looking for someone that's sharp, emotionally intelligent, AI native, and operationally strong, meaning organized. AI native is just that we are getting more and more into AI, and I expect someone that's going to be considering AI as a solution to most challenges that pop up, but also has the wherewithal to know when it's appropriate to use AI, how far along AI can help us, right? That AI is great at a lot of things, but it does not get most things over the finish lines like these days. And that is why we are here, is to get things over the finish line. I'll probably talk on that a little bit more later. Your job here is to multiply my effectiveness across my personal life, my company leadership, and then helping with the long-term vision. We'll talk a little bit more about what that looks like in just a sec, and helping me to show up as a better CEO, friend, and content creator for my podcast and other things that, again, I will touch on here. Some of the things that you are going to own if you take over this position in the company and in my life. So number one is follow through and execution. I'm on anywhere between 10 to 15 hours a week, I would say, on calls with various team members, sometimes with other SaaS founders, and just a variety of people, generally internal team members that I'm in contact with. And so one of the primary tasks will be watching every single meeting recording. You can do that on double or triple speed as you get more used to everyone understanding. And then using the generated AI notes, we use Fathom, using those to identify the to-dos and then to own the follow-up and the follow-through. And then a big thing is that contextually, where I mentioned that we need someone that's emotionally intelligent, Contextually, I need somebody that's going to very quickly get up to speed with my relationships and essentially the network of my relationships, how the different team members, if I'm having a conversation with one team member and something gets decided, which team member needs to know about that, stuff like that. I mentioned here at the end of this to-do of follow up and follow through. So one thing is that I love being on calls. I love helping people. I do have a tendency though to say that like I'll follow up with something, or I think I tend to not make that promise anymore, but it's mainly because historically I haven't had the best follow up or follow through, and I'd really like somebody to come in and to help me with that so I can be confident on a calls being like, oh, if I'm talking to a SaaS founder friend, being like, oh, actually I recorded an episode that actually addresses that challenge specifically. I'm going to send that to you when we're done with the call. And then those things actually happening, right? And so next point is keeping Amar accountable to the things that I say are important. And so with that, I also need someone that's going to prioritize and going to be a step ahead of me, where even if it's not even if I say that something's important, I also need someone that in the near future, once they get up to speed, I want to be able to figure out what things are important that I need my attention on to make sure that I'm not a bottleneck for other people, and essentially just helping me to prioritize where my attention is needed. And then another thing here is that you will be working a little bit with two other people, very important in my life, like more directly than the ZenMaid team members. So one is Fran, who's my wife, and the other is Nat, who is our COO and leads the ops and everything. And those are the two people that you would also be working with quite closely. So you'd likely meet with both of them during the hiring process. Okay, cool. Number 2 is content capture and leverage. Like I said, I'm on a lot of calls, and especially now with my job inside ZenMaid being a lot of coaching and kind of training, there's so many things that I am communicating directly to individual team members that I would like turned into content. And some of that might just be internal content of this is just something that we need to clip out, and then we need to send it to Nat so that she puts it away in the right place, or that it's for future people that are working directly with me. They should see this video. I also have a variety of small content channels actually publishing this video that you're watching right now. I will be publishing this to my podcast and my YouTube channel, for example. And so one of the primary tasks that I need help with is I need someone who's going to be an AI first or an AI powered assistant to me to help me to turn all of these things into content. And so that includes helping me to identify the content, and then also actually getting it from me talking on calls to me being able to share it on LinkedIn, for example, or clipping it into a video. And so there's a variety of ways that we can go about doing that. But essentially, I'm looking for someone that can come in and can help to manage that and to do that to a large extent with a lot of the tools that have popped up. And I'm working on learning all these tools as well. So I imagine that would be a journey for both of us, but I am looking for someone that already thinks that way. Yeah, honestly, I think that summarizes all of the points there. Just for folks that aren't looking at the listing, just the full write out there is this person will own content capture and leverage, turn Amar's ideas, calls, and rants into content for LinkedIn, podcasts, X, and etc. Number 2 on that is to build a lightweight, repeatable system for ongoing content output. And the last point is collaborate with design/video where needed, or roll up your sleeves to do it yourself. Okay, so the third thing that you will own is network and relationship management. So this is helping Amar, me, to stay top of mind with friends, business network, and ZenMaid team members. So essentially with this, I have some friends that you will meet probably on Zoom calls or actually in person in London at some point that are just very good at like gifting and just being thoughtful. And I feel I am in those ways where like I come up with ideas, or I think of friends at very like random times and I'll be like, oh, like this little thing would be cool for them. But then again, my follow through is very like low, or I will think of that idea, but then it won't occur to me to do it right before their birthday, for example. And so I want someone that I can just drop voice messages to and to help me to just follow through and really to just be be a better friend, right? These are all things that I want to be doing and I want to be staying organized on, but I only have so many, not even hours in the day, right? Because I feel like I have plenty of time. It's more that I run out of mental energy for these things. So along that, track key dates with birthdays, life events, send gifts, and deepen connections. And then, like I mentioned, with the support and external follow-ups, it's just helping me to manage my network, where I'll have specific like SaaS founder friends that I'll essentially want you to pay more attention to or whatever, to make sure that I'm following up with them and just checking in on their success and supporting them how best I can, and just helping me to be like more thoughtful and to keep the people that I want for at the forefront of my mind, to keep them front of mind. All right, next section. You are a fit for this job if you think 3 steps ahead and move before asked. Yeah, so this is just one of, I expect you to be taking action here and to be proactive with really everything, like in this job, that I don't want to be constantly being the one asking for new things. I expect the things that we're working on to get better, and I want to lightly suggest something, throw something out lightly, and then to have you come back with more ideas and to build on that, and then to implement those systems if we mutually agree that those are like a good idea. But I don't want to have to be proactively thinking about how to improve these systems between you and me. That I'm having to proactively think about how to build our software, our marketing machine, the actual team that builds the company here at ZenMaid. The person that's coming in and is going to be the perfect fit for this slot is going to help take me to the next level. They're not going to be taking away my headspace. So that's like a strong one. Okay. Have strong EQ and manage up without ego. Managing up is a really big thing. I need someone that's going to essentially be bullying me into doing like the work that I'm supposed to be doing. I obviously can have a very strong character, but also like when I know that you're right and that what you're saying is the right thing to do, I'll follow through and do it. But oftentimes I need pushing. And so I do need a somewhat strong personality here that's both like aware, but I'm definitely not looking for a yes man, yes woman, right? That I need someone that is going to actively manage me to help me get the outcomes that I want, and is going to push back at me if I'm getting abrasive, which sometimes happens, and stuff like that. All right. Next bullet point, you're AI first in how you execute and solve problems. I touched on this earlier in the video, but I am expecting the perfect person for this role to be using ChatGPT or a similar tool on a daily, hourly basis to essentially be helping them to think through different things, to find better ways to do the things that we're doing, and to think about various problems that we're talking about of, can AI help us to solve this first? One thing that I do want to note here is that I'm a very big believer and strong component in that human touch, that it is unbelievably rare that I will take something generated by AI and just put it out into the world or use it as a direct response to something without like heavy editing. And that's just something that for me, I'm very particular about. So I'm not looking for AI to do our jobs, but I do think that AI can help us both to be more creative and to do more things that previously weren't possible or just required considerably more like specialized knowledge. And so that is a mindset that I expect very strongly to see in the perfect candidate here. Next bullet point is that you're able to write clearly and confidently, and a bonus if you can take on my voice. My voice is, I don't know about being difficult, but it's certainly unique. I'd appreciate that, but it's certainly not a requirement. But yeah. Next bullet point, that you want to own outcomes, not just completing the tasks. This is something where I need someone that's going to read between the lines and is going to figure out what the actual goal is of something, even if that means going a step beyond what's like necessarily asked, or to check in on like those sorts of things. So clear communication is obviously very important. By the way, I do recommend anyone listening to this or watching this right now, I recommend finding our presentation on culture and and values at ZenMaid. I don't actually know. I'll make sure that's published by the time this goes live, but I gave that presentation this year in Barcelona, and that'll give another good look into what might make someone a good fit here. Okay, next bullet point. Aren't afraid to challenge more when I am off track. So that's essentially what I was just saying about strong EQ. I need someone that is going to push back at me on things. And then last one is you're London-based or you can meet me in London easily. Honestly, I don't care if you fly in from somewhere else. If you're resourceful enough to fly in from Portugal or somewhere else to meet me in London like once a month or something, like that would be perfectly fine. But early on, we will likely be meeting in London like quite often. You would need to be in the area or available. Yeah, especially early on for the position. I think that it'll be more flexible like moving forward, but we are looking for London based, at least initially, like during hiring. A couple last like notes here. I know this is getting long, guys. Sorry. So not for this role is if you've got a suit and tie formality. I'm not sure where that bullet point came from, honestly. Hand-holding or micromanagement, that's not one that like I can be a micromanager when it comes to very specific things that if we're doing like short form video content, I might micromanage a little bit because I'll be very particular about each second of a video, but I'm not going to micromanage in terms of staying on top of you to get things done or anything like that. Yeah, that's not my strength. That's why I'm the CEO and not the COO. That's where I need you. And then the clock in, clock out mentality. This is not like I'm trying to think. So we definitely prioritize and value work-life balance here at ZenMaid. With that in mind, though, you will get messages from me at all hours of the day and night. I will always try to be respectful of your time. And unless I specifically note that something is is urgent, you won't need to urgently like reply to anything or anything like that. But like I do expect messages to be seen in a relatively short period of time. And there will be times over the weekend that I'll be asking for smaller like things just to help me prepare for the week and stuff like that. So it's never hardcore working on Saturday and Sunday, but I would say that sort of an always on or like an always connected sort of mentality is likely going to be like the norm, I think. Of course, like exceptions can always be made, but by default, it's if I'm sending you a message at 7 or 8 p.m. in the evening, I'm expecting that message is being seen before you go to bed, not first thing in the morning. Yeah, but like I said, like I have pretty good work-life balance, but I do have business ideas at all times of the night. So you might get messages, but you're not likely going to be tagged in to actually be asked to do anything that you wouldn't be able to do from your phone. Yeah. That might not sound the most appealing, but one of the things that we pride ourselves on here at ZenMaid is transparency. So I can tell you that is how it's going to be. So if that's a deal breaker for you, don't apply. If that's not a deal breaker for you, again, we'd love to hear from you. So cool. All right. Final bullet points. The role's not for you if you need to be told what to do, if you resist using new technology and AI tools, and if you expect to log off Friday and go dark until Monday. I think we'll probably remove that line before we actually publish this. And then I've already talked about the location. Compensation is up to $57,000 or 57,000 pounds a year. It's the equivalent of 30 pounds an hour. And full-time with flexibility, expect weekend check-ins. And then Amar runs 7 days a week. You won't always be working, but you will need to be responsive. So yeah, pretty much what I just said. All right, sweet. Cool. I'm almost out of breath from all of that. That was much longer and more intensive than I thought that it would be when I initially ran through this. If you are still with us, still watching this, please follow the hiring process that has been laid out by the ZenMaid team. And yeah, thanks for listening. All right, and we are back. The team let me know that the start of this video didn't do a great job of selling you guys on why this job is amazing and why it's such a great opportunity for the right person to come join us here at ZenMaid. So number one is this is Lola right here. For those of you guys not watching, I've got my lovely pup Lola on screen right now. You can request photos of Lola anytime that you want when you are doing this job, and they will arrive pretty much instantly because we're always taking photos of her. In some ways, you get to help Lola here out as well. All right. Muffin,
matching shirts. No, you're going to show them.
Oh, yeah, the matching shirts. Yes, there it is. Okay. Down, please. Thank you. Okay. In all seriousness, with ZenMaid, if you talk to any of our current team members, you'll see that the quality of life that we offer here at ZenMaid, we really like to think is next level. So I started this business almost 13 years ago as a lifestyle business, and the goal has always been for it to be a lifestyle business, not just for me as the founder, but also for our team members. So what you'll find at ZenMaid is a culture of work hard, play hard, where it is very results driven. While I do expect you to be responsive, I'm never going to have required hours for you. And that's true of most of the team members. There's a couple exceptions on support and some other positions where we need to have specific hours of coverage necessary. But as a general rule of thumb, everyone here, not as a general, everyone here are adults. We're not employing any children here, but importantly, everyone here is treated like adults. And included with ZenMaid, you'll have full autonomy. You'll be able to make your own schedule. There will be some things like that I will require you to be on at specific times for us to have calls. But outside of that, I do not care when you are working and when you are not working, as long as the jobs are ultimately getting done. And so that is a big thing. I know that you're going to absolutely love the team here at ZenMaid. We get together once a year. That's another big perk. 2 of the past 3 years have been in Barcelona, and then we were in the Netherlands the year in between. And so that's an annual team retreat. You get to meet the other 25 people on ZenMaid. And then as the company is getting bigger, there's likely going to be 1 other, maybe even 2 other paid, all expenses paid trips that'll be happening annually based on department, working with me directly, and etc. Trying to think what else there is. Generally, I think that ZenMaid is just a great place in general to work. You're going to have a ton of autonomy. Actually, that's another great point, is this is a perfect position for someone that's really looking to grow and to take on more responsibility. That ZenMaid is a fast growing company. We've gone from just under $3 million annually to start this year of 2025, and we're currently hovering around $5 million in terms of annual run rate. So I personally, as the CEO of this company, have a ton of growth opportunities in front of me. And of course, the person who's going to be my right-hand man, my right-hand woman, is going to have a ton of growth opportunities within the company and personally to grow. So this is a great opportunity that way as well. So I think that pretty much summarizes. Ask around if you're, I don't know, maybe concerned about that or whatever. But we really do our best to be an awesome place to work. And I think that's reflected. Quick thing to really note here. Sorry guys, I'm rambling a little bit here. But a quick thing to note here is that pretty much all of ZenMaid's team members that last 90 days with us, because that's essentially our trial or kind of evaluation period, that folks that hit day 91 tend to stay with ZenMaid for years and years. And that's true pretty much across the board, which we think is a great sign of a great culture and everything. Yeah, if you guys are interested in joining, follow whatever instructions have been provided by the ZenMaid team to apply, and we'll see you guys on the flip side.